Have you ever tapped add to cart just because someone on TikTok said you need this? You're not alone. Reports show social commerce influenced 22% of beauty e-commerce in 2024. But mature skin is a different canvas. Research shows sebum drops after menopause, and studies find dry skin in older adults can hit 29 to 56%. We are exposing 7 products to never use on mature skin and 3 that are safe. If you love the real tea, subscribe. Let's get into it. Number 7. Estée Lauder Double Wear Foundation. Double Wear arrived in 1997 and built its entire identity around 24-hour wear and transfer-resistant staying power. Estée Lauder also highlights 55-plus shades, and newer counts landed at 57. 55-plus shades feels like a major win, but a wide shade range never fixes a finish that fights your skin. Have you ever put something on that looked perfect in the morning, then looked heavier by lunchtime? Here is the real reason that happens. The National Institute on Aging says older adults can produce less oil from skin glands, and menopause can leave skin thinner and drier. Less oil means less natural glide, so a fast-setting matte base can grip where you want softness. When it grips, it clings to tiny texture like it has magnets, and cameras love to expose that. Now, the number that makes the midday betrayal feel less mysterious. Research reviews describe collagen dropping around 30% in the first 5 years after menopause, then continuing to decline each year. 30% collagen loss changes bounce and flexibility, so matte polymers and quick-set time can stamp lines instead of smoothing them. Do you notice how the same foundation looks harsher when you smile, talk, and move through the day? Estée Lauder calls it the #1 foundation in the US on its own site. #1 foundation can still feel unforgiving on drier days. Keep your under-eye area in mind because that zone has even less patience. That leads straight into a concealer that lives on bold claims. A healthy person blinks 15 to 20 times per minute, and that movement alone explains why under-eye makeup can fail even when you apply it carefully. Number 6. Tarte Shape Tape. If you blink 15 to 20 times per minute, your under-eye skin folds and unfolds thousands of times every day. That number sounds small, but the motion never actually stops. Now add the thickness fact that makes everything click. Eyelid skin can be as thin as 0.3 to 0.5 millimeters. 0.3 millimeter skin leaves very little room for thick products to sit without showing texture. Tarte sells Shape Tape as full coverage that lasts 16 hours with a 12-hour crease-proof claim. 16 hours sounds like security. So why do people still see creasing? High pigment concealer often dries into a flexible film, and the film folds with every blink. Then pigment gathers inside the fold, like pigment settling into a seam, and the crease looks deeper, even if your skin did nothing wrong. Have you ever checked the mirror and thought the line appeared out of nowhere? There is also a real-world moment that shows how hard the brand pushed its hero product. The Shape Tape foundation launch triggered major backlash about shade range and inclusivity. And that conversation changed what people accepted from one-size complexion marketing. Shade backlash made audiences more skeptical of big promises that ignore real faces. One more clue sits in the brand's own lineup. Tarte promotes a creamy version for 24-hour hydration. 24-hour hydration exists because the original can feel dry on some people, especially under the eyes. Now, imagine adding powder on top of that dryness because the next product does exactly that. Have we named any products that you've removed from your bathroom shelf? Tell us in the comments and let's talk about what works for you. Then hit that like and subscribe button so we can keep the conversation going on more beauty products. Now let's get back to it. Number 5. MAC Studio Fix Powder Foundation. Studio Fix Powder Plus arrived in 1992 when oil control was a dominant makeup goal. 1992 matters because powder foundations were designed to absorb shine and lock down the surface. Even today, Studio Fix still leans on 24-hour oil control messaging. 24-hour oil control can sound helpful, but what happens if your skin already feels tight after cleansing? Dryness becomes common with age, and one study in older adults reported dry skin prevalence around 60% in people with an average age of 70. 60% dry means many faces are already running low on surface comfort. Powder foundation can absorb whatever softness is left, then cling to tiny flakes around the mouth, nose, and chin. Have you ever applied powder and watched the center of your face look flatter, then a little rougher within minutes? The National Institute on Aging notes the outer layer gets thinner and elasticity declines over time. Thinner barrier means less cushion under makeup, so powder sits on top and reads more obvious in close-ups. You may feel like you used a light hand, but the camera sees a layer. There is also a modern twist. MAC did a major reformulation in 2025. The 2025 reformulation shows the brand knows the category faces pressure, including ingredient scrutiny. Some retailers describe the updated formula as talc-free, while still claiming sweat and humidity resistance. If you think powder controversy sounds dramatic, the next one has a history lesson built into it. Number 4. Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder. Airspun launched in 1935, marketed with a real bite test for grit. The old instruction? Take a pinch, place it between your front teeth, grind firmly. It sounds wild now, but shows how physical powders once felt. Now fast forward to today, where the conversation shifts from texture to safety. Loose powder goes airborne when you tap it into a lid or press it under the eyes. That floating cloud is why talc and inhalation became part of the modern debate. A peer-reviewed review notes asbestos-contaminated talc used on the face can create inhalation risk. So the issue isn't powder itself, but contamination turning testing into a trust conversation. The FDA tested talc cosmetics over multiple years, and in 2022 reported no asbestos detected in 50 samples. No asbestos sounds reassuring, but the FDA also issued a 2019 advisory about Klairs Cosmetics contaminated with tremolite asbestos. Pressure shows up outside makeup too. Johnson & Johnson announced a global stop on talc-based baby powder after years of lawsuits and scrutiny. That global stop tells you this ingredient debate carries real consequences. And if you think that was intense, the next trend looks fun until it gets near your eyes. Number 3. Chunky Glitter Highlighters. The AAO warns glitter can mix with the tear film and at worst, scratch the cornea or cause infection. If you wear contacts, the AAO also flags glitter as a common cause of corneal irritation. The EU restricted intentionally added microplastics, banning loose plastic glitter on 17 October 2023 under Regulation 2023/2055. There is a loophole. Glitter can fall outside the ban if it is contained by technical means or permanently incorporated into a solid matrix, like some inks or glitter glue. Contained glitter is treated differently, even if the visual effect feels similar. So chunky glitter has two problems at once: physical particles near eyes and growing pressure on what those particles are made of. Now let's talk about a product that tightens by design. Number 2. Longwear Matte Liquid Lipsticks. A 2025 paper says the lip stratum corneum has the highest tool on the face, around 3 times higher than facial skin. That means lips lose water quickly even when cheeks feel fine. Longwear formulas rely on volatile solvents and film formers that set into a transfer-resistant layer. In real products, isododecane and silicone resins appear consistently. Isododecane evaporates fast, leaving pigment and film behind. The early dry down can look clean. Then the film tightens and you feel a pull when you talk, smile, or sip. On mature lips, the edges crack. Vertical lines sharpen and color breaks at the center, often from moisture loss and friction. That center wear pattern looks like bad application, but usually comes from a weakened barrier, not effort. Lips can feel dry even if you drink water all day because barrier behavior, not lack of hydration, is the culprit. The next product has the same trade-off energy: strong hold that punishes removal. Number 1. Heavy Waterproof Mascara. A study found microbial presence in 36.4% of mascara tubes after 3 months of daily use, recommending a maximum 3-month window. The American Academy of Ophthalmology advises replacing eye makeup about every 3 months. Heavy waterproof formulas use hydrophobic polymers and waxes that resist water, which also makes gentle removal difficult. Dermatologist Dendi Engelman recommends double cleansing, otherwise people tug harder, stressing lashes. Engelman warns that daily waterproof mascara can dry lashes, make them brittle, and removal can contribute to lash loss. Brittle lashes become the hidden price for no smudge wear. Have you ever seen lash marks on a cotton pad? There is also a simple hygiene detail. The wand touches lashes, picks up oils and debris, then goes back into a humid tube. Think of the tube as a warm, closed container, especially in a steamy bathroom. After 7 harsh formulas, let's get into 3 safe products that lean on comfort and easy removal, so mature skin looks smoother instead of stressed. Number 3. IT Cosmetics CC Plus Cream. IT Cosmetics CC Cream launched in 2013 and helped popularize the makeup plus skincare concept. Its 2013 release shifted the conversation from pure coverage toward comfort and flexibility. The brand highlights peptides, niacinamide, hyaluronic acid, plus SPF 50+. SPF 50+ sounds like the ultimate shortcut, but the label has a technical catch. Labeled SPF assumes an application thickness of 2 milligrams per square centimeter. That is a thicker layer than most people apply with makeup. Real-world use often lands around 0.5 to 1 milligram per square centimeter, and that reduces protection. Applying too little SPF explains why someone can wear SPF makeup daily and still see sun changes over time. So how do you use it in a smart, realistic way? Treat the CC cream as a comfortable base with a helpful SPF boost. Then wear a dedicated sunscreen underneath when protection matters. Layered sunscreen makes the numbers work without changing your makeup style. For mature skin, the win comes from feel and movement. Hydrating ingredients support a flexible surface that moves with expressions instead of setting into every line. Flexible finish reads more like skin on camera. If you want a similar skin-like look with a more polished glow, the next foundation has a long history and a very recent reset. Number 2. Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. Luminous Silk launched in 2000 and built a reputation over 25 years because it aimed for a skin-like finish over heavy matte control. The 2000 debut matters as it sits at the start of modern red carpet makeup expectations. After 25 years, Armani relaunched it for 2026 with numbers that signal a real overhaul. 44 shades, including 18 new ones, and a 4-year redevelopment with makeup artist feedback. A rebuild over 4 years signals performance changes, not just packaging updates. Why does it often flatter mature skin? Light diffusion does the work. A diffused glow scatters light so texture looks softer without turning your face into a flat, matte surface. That soft focus effect can calm fine lines in daylight by bouncing light instead of absorbing it. Testing write-ups describe the updated formula as more hydrating and more blurring while staying long-wearing, with additions like glycerin and niacinamide for comfort. Glycerin helps because it supports a smoother surface without grabbing dry patches. There is also a practical detail people appreciate. Clear packaging helps with shade matching, which matters when undertones shift with sun exposure and time. Shade clarity saves you from buying the almost right shade. Number 1. Almay Length and Lift Mascara. A large study found 46.0% of participants reported sensitive eyes. That means almost half the room has a reason to be careful with mascara. The National Eye Institute also reports nearly 16.4 million Americans have dry eye. So what makes Almay Length and Lift feel like a safer choice? It is described as hypoallergenic, ophthalmologist-tested, and fragrance-free, positioned for sensitive eyes and contact wearers. Ophthalmologist-tested matters because irritation often comes from flakes, migration, or formulas that require aggressive removal. Link it back to mascara hygiene. That study found 36.4% contamination after 3 months, and the AAO repeats the 3-month rule. Replacing mascara regularly protects you, and a gentle formula makes removal feel easy. A 2025 paper also reports watery eyes and irritation as common concerns, with corneal abrasion reported too. And that's a wrap. We've covered 7 makeup products to avoid, and 3 that actually work for mature skin. Which ones do you love and which did we miss? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more beauty secrets and stay tuned. There's much more to discover.